Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're diving into something that is fundamentally changing how stories are told, the modern animation pipeline. If you've ever thought that creating a professional, high-quality animated story was just totally out of reach, well, buckle up. The source material we're exploring today shows exactly how storytellers are blending traditional cinematic techniques with cutting-edge AI tools to create something truly magical.
It all boils down to this one big question. How do you turn a blank page into a cinematic animation on a small budget? Historically, things like cost, time, and, let's be honest, actual drawing ability kept incredible stories locked away. But today, those traditional barriers are literally disappearing right before our eyes.
So here is our roadmap for today. We'll kick things off with writing for visual logic, move right into the storyboard blueprint, jump over to generative AI animation tools, cover perfecting the voiceover, and finally, wrap it up with the final polish. Section 1. Writing for visual logic. Architecture over just words. When you're crafting a script, it's absolutely crucial to understand that it's not just about the words the audience hears, it is quite literally a visual architecture. In fact, Powtoon's head of product hit the nail on the head, noting that the best animation scripts are written like blueprints. Think about it. You wouldn't build a house without a blueprint, right? So you definitely shouldn't start animating without one. You've got to design the visuals and the narration simultaneously.
And there is a massive difference between writing a standard audio script and writing for visual logic. I mean, you can't exactly draw an abstract phrase like efficiency improves, can you? But you can easily animate concrete visual nouns like a cluttered screen becoming organized. When you write for animation, every single word has to dictate exactly what the viewer is seeing.
To keep all that logic structured, Powtoon recommends a very specific narrative blueprint. It goes like this. First, context. You want to introduce the problem immediately. No vague build-up, just get right to it. Next, evidence. Give us 2 or 3 visual milestones that really back up your point. And finally, a directive, which is a clear, specific next step. Every sentence you write needs to prioritize information gain. If it doesn't serve a concrete visual purpose, just cut it right out.
Section 2. The storyboard blueprint. Visualizing the framework.
Okay, so once that narrative blueprint is written, we've got to test it so our visual ideas can find their rhythm. This brings us to a super important industry term from the Get Right On It cheat sheet, the animatic. Now, unlike standard storyboards, which are just static images, an animatic takes those rough drawings and edits them together on a timeline. This is huge because it gives you a true sense of pacing and shot timing way before you commit to expensive production.
Story artist Alan Huynh captures this idea perfectly. He says, storyboarding is the stage when mistakes are cheap. All your trial and error, it belongs right here. For example, during the development of the film 28 Days Later, they actually used storyboards and animatics to stress test an entirely different plotline that had absolutely no soldiers in it. They caught the flaw early precisely because they tested it cheaply in storyboards. That's a real game changer.
But hey, storyboarding isn't just about drawing, it's really about feeling. When Huynh was storyboarding a cinematic trailer for the game Sky Children of the Light, he actually got stuck. So, to solve the problem, he closed his eyes and empathized with his character. He imagined himself as a small, vulnerable child, instinctively reaching out in total awe at giant manta creatures flying overhead. Great storyboarding relies so heavily on tapping into your own human experiences and that sense of childlike wonder.
To practice this, Huynh offers this brilliant 3-panel assignment. First, picture a telephoto detail shot of a family having a great time inside. Next, a wide angle showing a shadowy figure in a truck outside. And finally, a medium shot of that shadowy figure watching menacingly. Boom! We just created intense narrative flow and tension using only 3 simple visual compositions and absolutely 0 dialogue. Now that is visual storytelling.
Section 3. Generative AI animation tools. Accelerating the production timeline. Now for the really fun part, bringing those foundational blueprints to life. Tools like Media.io and Kapwing have introduced a workflow where AI basically acts as your director's assistant. You start by entering your script to generate a customizable outline, then you lock in consistent characters using 3-view references, front, side, and back, so they don't randomly morph between scenes. Finally, you generate the storyboard, and get this, if one shot is wrong, you simply re-roll that single flawed shot instead of trashing the entire video.
It's really important here to distinguish between script to video and text to video.
Text-to-video tools like Sora or generic AI are great if you just need a random 5-second clip of B-roll based on a short prompt. But script-to-video tools? They take long-form text, up to 5,000 characters, and output a cohesive, continuous story with a consistent cast. That is exactly why they are so essential for the structured storytelling we've been talking about.
It is frankly incredible to see how much this changes things for creators. Maintaining on-model characters used to require tedious frame-by-frame redrawing. Nobody has time for that. Now, 3-view reference sheets provide true visual continuity across your entire story. And having the ability to isolate and regenerate just one flawed storyboard card, it gives you director-level control while saving countless hours of work.
And there's a whole ecosystem of these powerful tools ready to match your specific artistic intent. Capwing is incredible for instantly generating relevant B-roll and AI avatars across 40 different languages. Then you have Dreamina, which utilizes advanced models like Cdance 2.5 for really rich visual generation. And user-built tools like EasyVid are combining editable storyboards with Luma AI animation, putting all these amazing capabilities into one streamlined interface.
Section 4. Perfecting the voiceover. Finding the right rhythm and tone.
With the visuals generated, we have to nail the audio. And listen up, the magic number here is 150. According to experts at both Speechify and Powtoon, 150 to 160 words per minute is the golden metric for your voiceover. You absolutely must leave enough visual space for the motion, the transitions, and for the viewer's brain to actually absorb the information you're presenting. If you just pack too many words in, the whole animation becomes totally overwhelming. Integrating that audio requires a few simple steps. First, you choose your voice, whether that's a hired professional, your own voice, or a high-quality AI text-to-speech tool. Second, you record or generate it, making absolutely sure you hit that 150 to 160 words per minute sweet spot. Finally, you add subtle background music and sound effects and sync it up to the visuals. Remember, the audio should elevate the animation, not overshadow it.
Section 5. The final polish. Bringing it all together.
This final phase relies heavily on compositing. This is where you overlay all your different elements, the 2D video, the image elements, the text, the audio, and really tweak the pacing. It's also where you apply cleanup tools. Using AI like Media.io's enhanced video quality or object removers helps fix any lingering visual artifacts. This color grading and cleanup is really the secret sauce that makes the final sequence look truly professional.
Now, if you're an indie filmmaker or a marketer doing this on a tight budget, motion designer Maxime Archambault offers some highly actionable tips that prove constraints actually breed creativity. Keep your content simplified to one main idea. Opt for a minimalist visual style because fewer complex shapes mean fewer generation errors. Reduce your total animation duration to save on rendering time, avoid complex action sequences, and try collaborating with focused freelancers over massive, expensive agencies. So when you look at this entire pipeline, one core takeaway really emerges. When your scripts focus on visual logic, factual clarity, and narrative flow, animation transforms from a daunting production challenge into a massive communication accelerator. By marrying old-school storytelling principles like cheap storyboarding with new-school script-to-video AI for character consistency, you can produce incredible work faster than ever before. The traditional barriers to entry are just gone. The tools are literally right there waiting for us. So now that AI has completely shattered the constraints of cost and time, what incredible story will you build with your next blueprint?